Hey friends, this is the Miss Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead, and I'm canning today. I'm canning spaghetti sauce because I'm rotating out some of my pantry stock. Now, this is 9 cans of diced tomatoes, 4 jars of store-bought spaghetti sauce. Now, you may ask me, why would I recan spaghetti sauce? Well, folks, it's because every time I open a jar of this stuff, I have to add my veg and my mushrooms and my meat. So what I'm doing today is I'm canning vegetable sauce, okay? So I have 9 cans of tomatoes, 4 jars of sauce, 2, 4, 6, 8 cans of mushrooms, and 2 cans of tomato paste. I hope I can fit it all in that pot. Now here I have a pot of water to put my chopped veg in. And here I have my different sized choppers. Oh, and I have to check the fridge because I think I got one more pepper. I'm cleaning out the peppers and stuff from my fridge. I'm not going to put, I don't know about anybody else, but I like lots of veg in my, now don't worry about throwing stuff like this away. I'm going to be putting this stuff in a baggie for when I butcher my hens later this year. Now, I don't like opening a jar of spaghetti sauce and having to add vegetables. It's a pain in the butt, right? So I'd rather just throw this in. Whoops. I'd rather just open a jar and throw in the meat. So this is going to be really vegetable rich sauce. I have to go get my neck thing. I'm hot. Thank you, Terry, for these gel wraps. I'm telling you, they go a long way to keeping me cool. I was out picking beans yesterday and my clothes were soaked right through with sweat, but I didn't overheat. I didn't overheat because this is the way I wear them. So, what I have here is celery, onions, garlic, and peppers. And I'm going to be using canned mushrooms and canned tomatoes. I'm just kind of rotating out my pantry stock. So let's get started because like I said, I've only got like 8 cans. Well, no, there's a bag for my vegetable ends. This is going to be super vegetable rich. And I also have 2 cans, small cans of tomato paste. Now my celery is not ready yet, but that's okay. I don't mind buying it when it's fresh until my garden comes in. Oh yeah, baby, that's going to be some beautiful stuff. Now, I am going to be pressure canning these. I'm going to be pressure canning these even though there's no meat. Why? Because I got a lot of low acid vegetables in here. And I don't necessarily trust the acid content of tomatoes anymore. We just had a bit of rain and it's only enough to make things muggy. Oh. I got a deal on these peppers. I don't mind cutting the top off and pulling it out like that, because it's, like I said, this is all going to be stock. And this is when the chop wizard comes in real handy. Ooh, that's got a bad spot on it, so we'll just cut that right off. So I said, I'm cleaning out my fridge. That pepper's moldy. I'm not going to put that in my veg boil. I'm just going to throw the whole thing away. What a bloody shame. I just bought these at Costco last week. But that's okay. This is why we're rotating our stock, right? We're rotating our canned tomatoes. We're rotating our canned mushrooms. There's another thing, color. And let's face it, all these hybridized vegetables don't have the same nutrients that they do or did when they were all heritage, right? Okay, this, I found another hot pepper in the fridge, but I have 2 cups of minced garlic here. This is gonna sit in the fridge overnight, so it will be ready for oven roasting tomorrow. Oh yes, I'm oven roasting these vegetables. Okay, I've set my oven for 300 degrees, and I've strained my spaghetti veg. And oh, did my fridge smell like garlic all night. Now, because I don't have a pot enough to mix all the sauce and then put it into pots, I'm going to oven roast my veg first, and then I will add them into the jars separately of the sauce. Okay, so we're just going to coat this in a nice drizzle of olive oil, and into the oven this goes, just like that, for about an hour. Here are my oven roasted veg, and I honestly wish you could smell this. But in here, I'm going to open up all the cans now, and I also have a little bit of vegetable broth left in this pot that I'm going to add for flavor. I don't think all these other things are going to fit in one stock pot, so I'm going to start emptying my mushrooms. I'm just going to start putting these cans of mushrooms in with the veg. All right. Now, you get the picture here, folks. And because this veg has been roasted, it's got a lot of juice in there. I'm going to add not my tomato sauce, but my tomato paste. Just do that. And that. I'm going to add 2 cans of tomato paste to the veg to kind of thicken up the juice. And then we just push that right through. And take that lid off. And the celery do their job. Now look, give it a little push, plop, the whole thing comes out. Clean as a whistle. So I'm just going to stir this tomato paste into these warm vegetables because I roasted them this morning. This is a way of rotating out your pantry stock, folks, because you're canning it to save it. And canning season is upon us, and I'm going to be canning like crazy, so I want to get this out of the way. Now, let's start doing our tomatoes. Now what I'm doing here is I just added a little water to the jar, and there we go, and the next jar, and there we go, and the last jar. Get as much of that sauce out as we can. There we go. And I am going to put this on low on a burner with a wire rack on it. And then I'm going to put some jars in the dishwasher. Okay folks, here's my setup. Lids, rings, jars that came out of the dishwasher, and I did rinse them because yes, there can be debris on them when they come out of the dishwasher. Sauce, veg, and I would be a fool if I didn't put some in the crock pot for supper tonight. Killing two birds with one stone. My pressure canner has the required amount of water in it with the rack in the bottom and a splash of white vinegar to stop the jars from clouding. And I almost forgot fresh basil, because remember, we can use fresh but not dried spices and seasonings. So let me see if I can get you a little bit closer. I'm going to just put a little bit of basil in each jar. I'm just going to take a nice deep spoon of our veg, and I'm going to drop that into the bottom. Now normally I would recommend putting some liquid in first, but this is all really heavy. The liquid's heavy, the vegetables are heavy. Now I want to get as close as I can to a cup of veg in each jar. I'm going to take my 2-cup measure, but it's not going to need to be full. And I'm going to start filling these jars. Now, before you go on to the next jar, folks, debubble. Yes, I am batch canning. Now, if you're not using canned sauce like I threw in there, you are going to want... I missed debubbling, didn't I? You're going to want to add a 1/4 cup of sugar or a teaspoon for every 2 cans of your canned tomatoes. That's a chock-a-block jar, that one. I overfilled the veg on that one. But it's gonna be yummy. Always, always wipe your rims and your threads with a clean damp paper towel. Oops. Fingertip tight and into the canner that goes. So on this goes. As soon as this begins to spout a steady stream of steam, I am going to time it for 10 minutes. Do not skip this step. Letting the canner vent for 10 minutes takes the air out so that when you put the weight on, it creates the vacuum, thus the pressure. So please don't ever skip that step. So when this goes to a steady stream of steam, I will vent it for 10 minutes and we'll be back. That is venting a steady stream of, a steady stream of steam. And the timer is clocking. And there's the rest of our spaghetti sauce in the next canner. There's our gentle rocking motion with the occasional foot. So, I'm going to set my timer for 35 minutes. It's 30 minutes for pints, 35 minutes for quarts. And now it's time to put our weight on here because we've vented our steam. Okay, it's been 35 minutes and now I'm shutting this off and I'm going to let it cool down naturally. That means when the bobble pops down, this stops jiggling and the canner is almost cool to the touch. That will be when it's safe to open. Now, even though our canners are touchable with our hands, always open them away from you, folks. Just to make sure you don't get a face full of steam. The lids are getting real crappy, folks. All sealed but these two. These are going to go in the fridge and I will recant them and recan them. But I got 12 in all of some of the most delicious vegetable-based spaghetti sauce you'll ever eat. This is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying I gotta have a swim and go to bed. Take care, God bless. So I recanned these with the leftover sauce that I had in the crock pot after supper. And so these jars are spaghetti sauce with meat. Except that one did not seal. Again, please folks, don't buy dollar store lids. That one's going to go in the fridge for the next time I make spaghetti. But all told, I got 13 quarts. This is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, for God's sakes, folks, don't buy dollar store lids. Take care. God bless.